What's up? We got The Flash, Season 2, Episode 11, The Reverse Flash Returns. So this episode starts off with Barry just running and monologuing, and he's like, oh, he just keeps running to intervene the possible that Patty's leaving. Remember? Patty's leaving the show. Remember that? So, yeah, but then they have to stop. But then Barry has to stop a truck. But that's when Reverse Flash shows up. Not shows up, but he's like, hey, Gideon. And she's like, what's up, Professor Thawne? He's like, I finally figured out what time period the Flash is from. Now let's go home. So, yeah, remember Reverse Flash, end of the episode? That happened. Yeah, so Barry gets a call from Patty saying, are you gonna be mad at her? And he's like, what am I supposed to think? You're leaving our relationship. What are you supposed? You're breaking up. You're making us break up. What are you supposed to do? So yeah, so then Patty puts two and two together and realizes that Barry's the Flash. But what annoys me about this is that Barry is like, oh no, she cannot know. I can't tell her. Why I cannot tell her? Because they have to come up with a reason to take her off the show. So yeah, and Patty's, and you know how Patty figured out that Barry's the Flash? Looking, because he saw Caitlin and Barry working together, and he didn't know she was at Star Lab. He and Joe worked at Star Labs together once in a while, and then he looked at Barry's cases that also involved the Flash, and just put two and two together, and now Barry's like, oh no, I can't tell her this. Villains are gonna come after her. You were able to tell Iris, and you were Iris on your team, and you told Linda without any problem. What is Patty any different? Oh, I'm guessing because they had to find a dumb way to take her out of the show, so they have to have Barry not tell her he's the Flash, even though he could have let her stay. That's one thing that annoys me. So yeah, so Harry and Cisco are trying to figure out how. Yeah, so Wells reveals that fear is what triggers Cisco's vibes. And he reveals that Reverse Flash is back. He's like, the Reverse Flash, he's back. And he's like, yeah, so the Reverse Flash is like, Dr McGee. And she's like, who are you? And he's like, you're coming at me. And she's like, Flash? And she's like, and he's like, Flash. And he's like, Eobard Thawne. And he's like, you know about me? And he's like, you died. And he's like, good to know, Flash. I know what time period you're from, which means you cannot stop me. Let me just speed strap and punch you, and then cut to the next scene. That's it. So he kidnaps Dr. He kidnaps Dr. McGee, and Cisco reveals that, hey, he's gonna, once he gets all the she's like, a same man in yellow suit tried to steal a Tap Gun device last year. He's like, I must have done this before and it failed, so I'm gonna just do it again and see if it succeeds. So yeah, but Team Flash, Cisco's able to use his fallen vibe mode powers to discover that he's gonna kill this Dr. Christina McGee. But then they reveal that Cisco actually was able to travel back into the future, because she was able to die at like 9, but it was 4. So he's like, he fought into the future. And he's like, that's exactly what I'm telling you. So he stops him, saves him. So he's like, Barry's gonna kill her, and Caitlin's like, Barry, he's gonna kill her. So then she's like, Barry, he's gonna kill her. So then we see Barry, and he saves Christine McGee, takes out the time thing, and he's like, "That's my only way. That was my only way home." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kidnap you, capture you." And he's like, "No, you're not." And Barry beats him up, and Joe's like, "Barry, don't kill him, just get him," and knocks him out. And yeah, so now they have Eberthon captured. So yeah, so we also get some Francine stuff with Francine. With Joe came back from Francine, and Francine is dying again. She doesn't have much time left. So Iris goes to see her, and she reveals that she just wish that she could have had more time spent with her. Maybe she and Wally would have became closer. And then Wally's like, and then Iris is like, "What the crap, Wally? Why aren't you avenging your mom?" And he's like, "She lied to me for like years, and then for like 20 years, and then suddenly she tells her that he's a sister and a father, and she's like, that's the same thing happened to her, but this is what this is about." And she's like, "Yeah," but he's like, "No," and she's like, her fiance died before she could say goodbye to him. R.I.P. to Eddie. And she's like, "Well, she got to say goodbye to her mom, so now it's time for him to do so as well." So then what happens? What happens? What happens is that they kidnap Reverse Flash, but Cisco's like, "I'm the one who captured you. I want to know about your ring." He's like, "That's all you want to know about my ring?" He's like, "I want." And he's like, "How'd you do that?" And he's like, "I have powers that you gave to me, and yeah." And he's like, "With those powers, I captured you. So ha, there, take that, Eberthon." We can't call me. I miss calling me Eberthon Wells, but since he's on the form of Wells, I can't call him that anymore. So anyway, so then Barry's like, "Hey, why you don't like him?" He's like, I didn't always hate you, Flash. I once idolized you, but then I found a way to tap into the reverse Speed Force, and then the reverse Speed Force, and then that's why you killed his mom to become faster than him, to become better than him. And he's like, "No, I became faster than you. I am the one thing that you cannot defeat," or something he said. So yeah, so they get back and they reveal that Cisco's bleeding and the seizures are in the rupture of the timeline. So they say so Cisco's is like, "Hey, Cisco's like, you guys send him back to the future." And he's like, "Wait, I just caught him." And he's like, "Now you want to let him go?" And he's like, "Keeping him here is killing Cisco." And he's like, "Barry, you know what you gotta do? Then just do it." Yeah. So then he's like, "Who are you?" "Well, Harry, who are you really?" And Harry's like, "No one of importance." It's revealed that So the whole reason why Reverse Flash is here is because this is the timeline. This is the timeline that they're from, and this is the timeline where Barry's mom died, and this is the timeline that Reverse Flash is from, and this timeline where they are in this timeline that Barry's mom died. So Reverse Flash, they killed Reverse Flash, but Speed Force was holding him like a prison, so he would be able to, so he would be able to survive certain death, but he was able to travel back, but he was so it made it so he traveled back from the future. So this is his first time in the year, and he's like, that's why he didn't know who he was. That's why he didn't know his name or who he was. And he's like, yeah, and he's like, this is how he knows all of you. This is how he knows you, and Cisco and Caitlin. This is his origin story. So they throw him back in. We don't know if we'll ever see him again by Matt Lesher, but so Patty's like, Barry's like, Patty, you tell me Patty's like, Barry, you tell me you're the Flash and I'll stay with you. But Barry's like, but Barry, being very, very annoying, is like, no, I'm not the Flash. Then she's like, okay, you proved me wrong. I'm gonna leave. Bye. But then she fakes an emergency alarm to get Barry there, and then as the Flash is leaving, she's like, bye, Barry, to end the episode. This episode is good, but I don't. Also, they reveal that Jay is sick. They also reveal that Jay is sick, so Caitlin's like, we have to his dying self's healthy one by finding his Earth One doppelganger. But they find him portrayed by the exact same actor named Han Solomon, and he was adopted by the Solomon. And she's like, why isn't he? Yeah. I don't care about this whole Caitlin and Jay love story. I'm sorry, I don't. It's the same with Alex and Thea. It's just too much for me to handle. Like, we had Ronnie and Caitlin, and now they're just trying to force... They're like, hey, we can't have Ronnie and Caitlin, so they're trying to force another couple, Caitlin, to be in love with another guy. I'm just not a fan. But anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time for more of The Flash.